Hi there. I am right here. Hi guys, it is Erin, Coach Erin from Big Pistachio. Big Pistachio Racing, Big Pistachio Coaching. If you don't get a chance to watch this whole thing right now, you can always come back and watch it again. I'll have it posted on my Facebook page. But today we're going to talk about triathlon terms and rookie mistakes. And really, we're talking to beginners or newbies or rookies. Triathlon can be a little bit scary when you're first getting into it. And I remember my first race, not like it was yesterday, but I remember my first race very clearly. And every race from that has been a learning experience. I've made many mistakes and I've learned from all of them. So the great thing about mistakes is that if you catch the lesson, you won't repeat the mistake. So hopefully some of my pain and my frustration and struggling it will help you. All right, so today we'll just go over a couple of terms. I actually have a PDF online on my website underneath my store. It's a free download of the terms. Some of the terms we're going to talk about today. There's over 100 of them, and today on my workout I was already thinking of more that should be in there that aren't, so I'll be updating it as well. So it'll be pretty cool. Anyway, pretty excited about talking to you guys today. But first I wanted to show you my wall of workouts. Now, or races, not workouts necessarily, of races. Now this only represents a few of them. Represents over 50 of them. And I have a stack maybe this thick of more bibs in my office that I still need to frame. But let me show you guys. So you can see that I have framed almost all of my race bibs. Like I said, I still have quite a few that I have not. But what I want you to see is up here in the top corner, right there, number 247. That was my first triathlon ever. First one ever. So I saved the bib, number 247. It was a women's only triathlon, which is where I find a lot of people start off with, and that's perfect, your Dan skins and your women's only races. But I remember that race. It was my first. I had taught myself how to swim a few months before that. I was already teaching cycling classes, so I kind of felt like I had that down. I was riding a road bike, and I ran every once in a while, but mostly, you know, I lifted weights, and I wasn't super serious about any of it, and I was trying to put it all together for this first race. So I snuck off. It was in Sacramento, California. I lived in Sonoma County, so I drove to Sacramento, and I did this race. Now, I got there the day before, stayed in a hotel, checked out the venue where the race was, and the swim start was very precarious. And well, you know, never doing this before, I was very, very nervous, as you can imagine, as most people are in their first triathlons. So the swim start was underneath a freeway in the American River. So it was like underneath a overpass bridge. And what we had to do is we started on the beach and we had to swim through 2 concrete pillars and then make a hard left and swim upriver for quite a while and then come back down. So my very first rookie mistake in my very first triathlon is, where do you think I accidentally put myself for that first swim? Yeah, right in the middle. I don't know how I got there, but I was on the front line in the middle of the first wave. Now this is still when, if they have wave races, so it's your age group wave, and we'll talk about these terms in a minute, but I got an exactly wrong space. So my rookie mistake was being in the middle on my first swim. The problem was, A, I'd never done it before. B, I was not that fast. C, I got swam over, punched and kicked within the first 50 meters. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's how you react to it is if you can keep swimming. Fortunately, I came up and I was like, I'm out, I'm done. And then I looked, I was treading water right past these pillars. And I remember looking at the people swimming away from me up the river. And then I remember looking back at the beach start with a whole nother line of women lining up. And I could hear the guy on the shore counting down the next 10 seconds before they were supposed to start. And I knew I was going to get swum over again, or I needed to keep going as fast as I could to get out of their way. So that's what I did. And that was my first swim, my first race. After I got out of the swim, everything was fine. And I think I actually got like 5th or 7th in that race in my age group. And that's kind of what started the whole love of triathlon. Anyways, first mistake. So, if you are a new swimmer, if you're new to triathlon, don't go to the center of your swim. Okay? So, we want to go to the outsides of the swim and then work your way into the buoy line when you're feeling a little bit more confident in your swim. But now, I'm very happy to be front and center or second line in the middle, and knowing exactly where I'm going to swim. It's taken 13 years, but I feel very confident about that swim now. So your first swim start might be a little precarious, but don't make my mistake. Know what you're doing, know where you're going, and be calm as much as you can. So we're going to talk about a few terminology with triathlon for beginners, and I'll kind of share some more mistakes I've made along the way. Crazy mistakes. So in triathlon, if you're just starting, obviously you know enough that it's a swim, it's a bike, and it's a run. And there's multiple distances. And as you sign up, one of the first things you learn is there's a licensing fee. So USAT, USA Triathlon, is the sanctioning body for triathlon, and for any race to be insured and licensed and sanctioned, they have to go through USAT and their insurance policy. So that's why you're buying a license online. I do recommend, if you're going to do more than 2 races a year, just buy the annual membership. It's going to save you a lot less money, and you become a Triathlon USAT member. It's kind of cool. There's perks, there's discount codes and things like that you get, magazine. So you get to be part of the USAT membership club. So the next thing you need to know is your distances. What distances for a triathlon are you going to do? There are several. There are super sprint, intermediate or Olympic. Those are somewhat interchangeable. Half iron or 70.3, and then full iron or 140.6. Beyond that, we're going into ultra races. If it's your first triathlon ever, I really don't recommend anything over a super sprint, or an Olympic at the most, okay? Because I know you're excited and you want to go from 0 to 140.6. I actually know some athletes that do that, but it is much better to start off a little bit smaller, and even if you're just using it as training for your first Ironman, that is fine. Now, a super sprint is really short. It can be done in a pool or in open water. It's usually 200 to 300 meter swim, maybe 8 to 10 mile bike ride, and then a 1 to 2 mile run. For a sprint is typically 300 to 800 meter swim, and then between 10 and 15 mile bike ride, and 2 to 3 miles or a 5K run. Your Olympic distance race or intermediate, and intermediate just means it's not quite Olympic distance. An Olympic doesn't mean it's the Olympics, it's just the international distance or ITU distance as well. So ITU is the International Triathlon Union that, like USAT, sanctions all the races in Europe. So the Olympic distance or intermediate distance is around, or is 1,500 meter swim, right? 1,500 meter swim, just less than a mile. And then 40K on the bike, which is around 26 miles, and a 10K run, 6.2 miles. So then half iron, or 70.3. Obviously the distances are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So half iron, we have a 1.2 mile swim, a 56 mile bike ride, and a half marathon, 13.1 miles on the run. And your Ironman is exactly double that mileage, all right? So equaling 140.6 miles. So those are simple things to remember. Know your distance. Some other things that we're going to talk about, and again, I have the PDF online in my store on bigpistachio.com. You can download these terms. There's going to be a lot more terms coming that just aren't even on there yet. But so there's also some other races that they've been adding in. There's a duathlon, which duathlon is typically run, bike, run. Okay? Run, bike, run. Some duathlons are just bike run, but that's really not the official way to do it. My actual very first race was a duathlon, and it was a lot of fun. I actually kind of got talked into it, had no idea what I was doing, and I showed up at a friend's house. I remember this, Kimberly and Kevin Zuko in Santa Rosa. I went to their house. Kevin Zuko is a multi-Ironman, and they were kind of like pushing me towards triathlon, and I really wasn't ready for it yet, so we did this duathlon. And it was like an inter-club duathlon. I don't even think there was no timing chips or bibs or anything like that. The club just met. They said the course is this, and go. So I thought, I was going to be super cool and fast, and I was going to run, because it was a run bike run, with my cycling gloves on, to save time in transition, so I didn't have to worry about that. And I had my tennis shoes on, and I was going to cycle in my tennis shoes, and everything was going to be great. As I was lined up in the runners with the runners, my friend Kimberly walks up to me, and she goes, "Give me that." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Give me your gloves." I take my gloves off, and she threw them in the bushes. She's like, "You're not going to need those." And that was a mistake. I didn't need my gloves, and what she was doing was really helping me. And another thing that Kevin had did prior to getting there is I had a brand new road bike, only ridden it a couple times. He walked up to my bike and he's like, "Oh, Erin, you're so cool, you're so sweet." And he walked up and he took the price tag off my bike that was still there and took the reflectors off. So I've never forgotten those things. I actually do that now for my new athletes who have the same issue. Take the price tag off your bike, and you don't need the reflectors. They have to sell them with reflectors, but take them off. So it was really sweet. I've never forgotten that, and that was at least 15 years ago. So I appreciate all that help they gave me. Okay, so duathlon. Now there's aquabike. Aquabike is a swim and a bike. Okay, so swim, bike. So your race finishes at bike dismount, and we can talk about that in a minute too. At bike dismount. Your race finishes at bike dismount. So there's not a lot of glory doing an aquabike. You don't get to run through the finish line shoot. So what you can do if you do an aquabike that has no run is you can go to the finish line and jog through it and get your picture taken at the finish line and get your medal and your bottle of water or whatever they're offering at that race. I highly recommend doing that, so you have a little satisfaction of completing your aquabike, because not a lot of aquabikes have an official finish, but your finish time finishes when you cross that line at bike dismount. We have so many terms, and for rookies it gets a little confusing. So I'm gonna kind of breeze through my little notes here real quick, hit the big ones, and then email me, text me, add on to this live video. Ask me questions, guys. I know you're going to be there. So, okay, Athena and Clydesdale. This is another thing when you're registering you're going to need to know. Are you Athena and Clydesdale? Athena is a female over 165 pounds, and I believe Clydesdale men have to be over 210. That doesn't mean go pork up, head to your Shipley's or your donut place and start eating donuts so that you can qualify as for Athena. So it's just another category you can be in. There also might be selections for age group or AG and or an open wave. Now, if you are brand new, if you are a rookie, do not register for an open wave. Okay, this wave is separated out for the people who are really fast, strong, advanced, and don't want to race with age groupers. So the open wave, if you're brand new, and I know you're thinking, oh, open wave sounds fun, it's open and friendly. As a rookie, it could be really scary. So join up as your age group. Now, age group is in sections of in years of 5. So 20 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 34, etc., all the way up. So you are as old, you have a USAT age and your own age. So you are as old as you are on December 31st. So my birthday's in July, okay? My birthday is July 4th, and right now I am 49, but USAT is calling me 50. I ain't 50 yet. I will be, but I'm not yet. So half the year I get to race slightly older, which is either good or bad depending on where you're at. So however old you are on December 31st is your age for your age group. Does that make sense? Got that? Okay. So we got age group, we've got Athena, Clydesdale, we've got a lot of different terms. Another one rookies always don't understand right away is the terminology for brick. What is a brick? If somebody's writing your program or you read a program in a magazine or online, or if you downloaded a Training Peaks program and it says brick. Brick is a bike workout followed by a run workout within 5 to 10 minutes of that bike workout finishing. So it's just like a race, right? So what you're doing is training to learn how to run on tired legs, okay? And feeling what it feels like to run right after you get off the bike. If you've never done it, you need to do it. It's a whole lot of fun, right? I had one of my first-time triathletes just do her first brick the other day, Sarah, and she survived. It was great. She loved it. She's got a lot more coming. So the more bricks you do, the better you will be come race day. Now you can do a swim and a bike brick, but your typical brick is always going to be a bike run, okay? Bike run is going to be your brick. Cadence and RPM, they're the same thing. That's how fast your pedals are going around a circle in a minute, okay? That's your cadence. Let's see, chamois butter, butt butter, glide. These are different lubricants you may need for training and or racing. I highly recommend using Glide or any type of anti-chafing for if you're wearing a wetsuit. We can talk about the difference of those. If you're wearing a wetsuit, if you get any typical hot spots, I always put Glide on my shoulders here where my straps rub so it doesn't chafe during a race. I'll also put it underneath where my heart rate monitor sits. I'll do that. And all under my armpits, it's clear, not the chamois butter. Chamois butter is for a specific zone, but Glide will help you from chafing. And when I train, I use it also, especially on humid days, because all your running and everything, you can kind of get super chafed up without the Glide. Chamois butter goes directly into your cycling shorts. And it helps keep things moving a little easier so you don't get dry, hopefully you don't get hot spots, and we don't get any kind of crazy soreness in the bike short region. So get your chamois butter, get some Glide. You will thank me later. Okay, so some other things that we need to know. There's some, and now I'm on D's, terminology. There's DNS, if you ever see that, it's did not start, pretty easy. DNR, did not race, or do not resuscitate. I'd rather have it be do not race. At DNF, did not finish. Hopefully this is never the case for you guys. I want you always to finish every race you start. And then there's DFL. If you're DFL, congratulations. It's a special place. It means dead effing last. And that is okay. You did it. Who cares if you're DFL? You finished your triathlon. You finished. That's all that matters. You had the passion to cross the finish line and you did it. Nobody cares. Everybody will be there cheering for you. DFL is not a bad place to be. Okay, DQ is disqualified, and we never want to be disqualified because we want to read all the USAT rules ahead of the race. You want to know what the rules are to triathlon, very important, and you're going to make sure you don't do anything stupid that would get you disqualified. Simple things will get you disqualified. Drafting, being too close to somebody else on the bike, throwing equipment, trash, or any kind of your outfit gets tossed, you throw it, you get cut, it's a DQ. Okay, so these are all penalties and disqualifications. Unsportsmanlike conduct will get you DQ'd as well. All right, so we're all out there racing. We're all age groupers. We're not professionals. We paid a lot of money for these races. We pay a lot of money for the training. We pay a lot of money for the gear. Don't be a jerk. Don't ruin somebody else's race so you can get one notch ahead on the podium. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. So okay, so don't get DQ'd. Don't do anything illegal. Don't cheat. Drafting again is part of that. Drafting. Read the USAT guidelines and rules. Make sure you know exactly what it is. For some races it does change. For some races it's 3 bike lengths. For others, Ironman, it's typically around 5 bike lengths. Make sure that you know what it is so you don't get caught drafting. Very important. There's lots of different terminologies. Swag bag, goodie bag, PPU. These are, PPU is packet pickup. Your swag bag and goodie bag are what you pick up at packet pickup along with your race bib. Those, let me show you one more. All those on my wall are my race bibs. Took them off my race belt and I put them, so those are race bibs, those are your numbers. You'll also be body marked at every race. So body marking, they usually take markers, however those are going to start being illegal because they're toxic to your skin. Or you can get Tritats, and it's tritats.com. You can order a supply of Tritats, and what they are is just numbers. Once you know your number, you can apply the temporary tattoo to your skin. Both arms, your numbers, sometimes both legs, but for sure one leg, and then the back of your calf is going to be your age. It doesn't have to be your age group, it has to be your racing age. Again, so I will be putting 50 on my leg this year for my first race, even though I did not have a birthday yet. So you will be body marked. If you're not body marked before you get to your race, you will get body marked outside of transition before the race starts. Okay, so other things that you need to know regarding terminology and getting you through your first triathlon. So we got the race packet. Inside the race packet, you'll have fun treats and things like that from the different sponsors. Make sure you check those out. The RD is your race director. Every race has a director and has an entire team of volunteers. And usually the race director says a few words before the race, giving you some tips on the race course itself and giving you conditions. So that's very important. T1 transition, okay? Transition, T1 and T2. Now I'm going to give another talk completely on transition and all the magic of a perfect transition. But just real quick, transition, that is the place where we have all of our bicycles, right? This is where we put our bicycles in the morning or the night before. This is where we get set up in the morning. We set up our bike at transition, and then T1 is going to be transition again, transition 1. And this is swim to bike. T1 is always swim to bike. Now, not all transitions are in the same location. There are some races with 2 transition locations, okay? You'll know before the race starts. It'll be a big thing. T2 is your bike to run transition, okay? T1, T2. Here's the important thing. If you've never done a race before, you are being timed in transition. This is not free time. This is not time to take a shower and brush your hair and put on your lipstick. It's all part of your overall time. Timing does not stop in transition. Very important, okay? Again, we'll do a whole transition talk to get you through it as fast as you possibly can, and I will teach you so many tricks to help you remember where your bike is, how to set up appropriately, how to not make your neighbors mad in transition, because your first race might be a big Ironman type race owned by WTC or somebody else where there's 5,000 bikes. How do you find your bike when you come out of the water? I'm going to teach you, okay? So we'll do that in another day, and I'll announce it. So we're going to keep going. Wave start. In the swim, what we're going to do, there is either going to be a rolling start or a wave start. So the waves are either predicted by your age groups, and everybody in your wave or your age group will have swim caps on the same color. Okay, so you want to make sure you are in the same wave when you start your race. So you always want to listen to the announcer. You always want to make sure you're with the right people. You're starting at the right time, because that's when your race starts. Okay, so some races, I'm in my wave. My wave would be 50 to 54. Actually, a lot of times now I'm in a wave that I call the Andovers. It's 50 and over. So it could be a bunch of people. And if it's an Andover group, there might be several different swim cap colors in my group, because each age group would probably have a different swim cap. I mean, that is possible. But they're combining us because there's not a ton of people. So the other swim start, there's 2 others. There's wave starts. There's rolling start. Now, rolling start is where they go, okay, our fastest people line up, and then you go slow, the slower people towards the back, right? Or by pacing, or how long you think it's going to take you to complete that swim. So here's the thing. If you are slower and you feel like you need more time, do not go to the front. It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder because people are going to be swimming over you the whole time. Go with your group, your pace group, your time group, because all those faster swimmers in front of you will actually be creating a draft, and it'll help pull you through the swim. You won't have to work as hard. But if you go off the front, as somebody who's not a super strong swimmer, you have to work 2, 3, 4 times as hard. Let the group pull you through. Find some feet to get on and swim with them, okay? So rolling start is basically they line you up, a huge line, and you're going 2 or 3 at a time. Every 3 to 4 seconds, they're throwing you in the water to start, okay? It creates a really long line. The faster people usually off the front, or they can do rolling starts within an age group also, okay? And then there's a mass start, and there's not a ton of races anymore that do have mass starts. I believe maybe Europe has a bunch now still, but in my area here, they just don't do them. So a mass start is the entire body, all of the racers in the water at once in a mass group. If you want to see what this looks like and you haven't seen it before, YouTube Swim Start Kona. It'll give you a good idea of what that looks like. So anywhere, however many racers there are, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people, all in the water at the same time, go. That is a much rougher race start. but it never hurts to practice them. So here in Austin, we have splash and dashes and things like that. That is a great place to practice your mass swim start. There's not as many people. There might be 30 people instead of 3,000, but you stick yourself in the middle and you get the idea, okay? So those are different things that you can start off with the swim, right? Mass start, rolling start, wave start. A wrench is a bike mechanic. Okay, and there's always a bike mechanic at every race. Hopefully, cross your fingers that there is a bike mechanic, because there are a lot of times when something goes wrong. So, WTC, Ironman, World Ironman Corporation, World Triathlon Corporation owns Ironman. Ironman is not only a distance, it's a logo. Okay, that M dot is a logo. When people ask you if you're an Ironman, really that only counts if you have finished a full distance 140.6 Ironman distance race owned by WTC. Now you can do other companies' races like Rev3 and Challenge, and there's a bunch of other companies that do those distances, but really an Ironman is one that does one by the company WTC Ironman. I wish it wasn't. But it is. So, I love that you're here, that you're looking at being a triathlete, that you are new to triathlon, and that you want to learn more. So, I want to do more of these talks and share more things. The next talk I want to give next week, we'll do gear. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about all the gear you need to get started. Now, this is not going to be a deep dive into, data and different power sources for your bike for the more intermediate or advanced athletes. This is going to be, what you need to get through for your first, second, third, fourth, fifth race. Because as a beginner, as a rookie, you actually are a beginner and a rookie, I would say at least 10 races, if not more. Through my wall here, and I'll show you my wall, there are a lot of races there. Yeah, I was pretty much a rookie through half of that. I would not consider myself intermediate till much, much later. And I'm still not advanced by any means. Only because I don't get paid to race, but I've been doing it for 13 years. I feel very good. I feel very confident. And I know enough about biking. So yes, biking, running, swimming, I got this. Coach it. We're good. So nobody is giving me any questions. So what I'm going to say is you can find me on bigpistachio.com. I have my website and my racing team. If you're looking for a team to join, let me know. If you're looking for a coach, if I am your coach, thank you. If you're looking for a coach, ask me questions. You can email me, Erin at bigpistachio.com. I do have, again, the PDF of all the terminology. There's over 100 words here and definitions. It's on my website. It's free. It's under the store. If you're looking for training plans, email me. I can either write one up for you, or I may have some in my Training Peaks store. You can also get there through the store that are easy to download right into your Training Peaks program, and we'll get you going. And if you have another coach and you just want a little help here and there, I'm fine with that. I just want you to finish. I want you to have the goal to do a race and to finish strong and to have fun. Because this is fun. This community, this triathlon community, this whole world that we're in with triathlon, it is fun. It is a blast, and it is empowering and exciting, and I couldn't think of a better sport to be a part of. So I'm super excited. So again, check me out. Erin at bigpistachio.com is my email. Bigpistachio.com is the website. And if you need anything, let me know, and watch this again from the beginning and ask questions. I'll be checking on it over the next week or so and see if I can help you out with anything. I'm so excited. Hey Carmen, how are you? Let's see. Carmen did have a question. Keeping the shoes ready on the bike to hop on and off. What's a really good swimsuit? Awesome. So these are things I want to definitely talk about in our gear, and we'll do that next week. But yes, so if you are strong enough and have practiced, I do recommend leaving the shoes on the bike when you get off the bike and running barefoot through transition. You will wear one outfit through the entire day. There's no changing your clothes. You will get on your bike wet, and that is fine. Your bike can handle it. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll talk about wetsuits. We'll talk about speed suits, tri-suits, singlets, tri-shoes versus cycling shoes, road bikes versus tri-bikes, different helmet versus aero helmets. We're going to talk about all of that. It's so exciting. And then we'll also schedule a transition clinic, live transition clinic. Well, I will set up transition and show you how to set yourself up, and then hopefully I can bring in a friend to help show you how to do a flying mount and dismount and how to grab a hand up. So those are a little bit more advanced skills, so we may actually put that off a little bit. Grabbing hand ups would be for your half iron or full iron races, so sprint and rookies really wouldn't need that just yet, but mounting and dismounting the bike are very important skills, and if you know how to do a flying mount, it's even better. So I'm very, very excited. Carmen's asking about the chamois in the cycling shorts. Okay, so for triathlon, you want to get triathlon shorts. You don't want to swim and run in cycling shorts. So the padding is much thicker. So really, cycling shorts are just for the cycling portion. So if you can get a triathlon kit, the padding is much thinner. It's not even a pad. It's just a layer of fleece, basically. So that's just something that we can talk about in the gear for triathlon, and the difference between cycling shorts and triathlon. And that, we just have to toughen up down there a little bit. And it sounds miserable, but it is. But you do get better. So anyways, I've probably taken up enough of everybody's time. I do hope that you've gotten something out of this. And I can't wait to talk about transition, because there is so much going on with that we can really help you save a lot of time. And it could make the difference between a podium and no podium. Transition is the fourth discipline. Well, fourth, fifth, and nutrition, right? Nutrition's one of them too. So let's review the terminology. What I would like you to do is download the terminology list and then go on to usatriathlon.com and download the rules to triathlon and read the rules before your race. Okay, you need to know what the rules are before you race. Okay, have a great day, you guys, and I appreciate you being here, and nut up.